Hello. So imagine that it is Sunday evening and you're facing a full 5-day work week in front of you. It's not a very exciting thought, is it? Well, what if there's a way that you could look at work with a different, more optimistic perspective? It has been proven that you can be just as productive, if not more productive, if you were to remove a singular day out of your regular 5-day work week. I think that companies need to transition from the traditional 5-day work week to a more futuristic and groundbreaking 4-day work week. So I'm going to tell you about how this kind of 4-day work week system can be beneficial to both the employee as well as the employer. So here in the United States, the current work week mainly consists of 5 days, typically with 40 hours a week on average. This means that employees only have 2 days off a week, which means that they have less time to pursue other personal interests, spend time with loved ones, or even have enough time to feel energized the next week. The typical employee day consists of checking emails, switching between tasks constantly, dealing with unexpected interruptions, reaching for their phone, and going on social media, going through Facebook or Instagram, essentially not honing in on the tasks that need to be completed with the highest possible focus and proficiency. So, according to an article from Harvard Business Review, the average employee checks their email 74 times a day, while people touch their smartphones 2,617 times a day. This means that many employees are in a constant state of distraction and hyper-responsiveness that hinders the amount of actual work that they're going to be completing that day. I mean, you can only imagine that the issue of balancing work and life weighs in on people's minds on a daily basis. People think about their families, people think about their romantic relationships, their favorite sports teams, the mortgages, the car payments that they have to make. I mean, it's no wonder that people can't concentrate on their work when they have to go to their mundane and repetitive jobs that don't give them sufficient time to rest and recuperate and deal with their own personal situations. So I think that this shows that employees tend to waste a lot of time when they're on the clock for a variety of reasons. And it costs the company precious time and money. And that time and money could have been utilized elsewhere or invested somewhere. So now that we see that there's such an issue, we need to move forward with a newer solution. And I think that a simple but effective solution would be to um, move to a scheduled 4-day work week instead of a 5-day work week. And that would um, fix productivity levels, and it would save a lot of money in the process. So 4-day work week would allow employees time to unwind and not think about the stresses that come along with going to their job on a daily basis. However, I think that the extra day off should be viewed as a gift and not taken for granted, meaning that the expectation for the employee would be to get the same amount of work done, if not more work done, when they actually come to work on Monday. So the 4-day work week has already been practiced in countries such as Iceland, where an article from the Washington Post claims that employees were far more productive and overall much happier with their work. Iceland ran these trials, moving from 40 hours a week to 35 to 36 hours a week, without a reduction in pay. And other countries such as Spain, Germany, and New Zealand are also focusing in on this kind of system because the results of the trials have been tremendous. Andrew Barnes, the director of Complectus Limited, which is a company founded and based out of Auckland, New Zealand, gave the 4-day work week a trial run to see if it was even feasible. And Andrew Barnes spoke at a TED Talk, and he shared that within his company, team engagement scores went up 30%, stress levels within the company dropped by 15%, and the work-life balance improves significantly by 25% within each employee. So I think that this all goes to show that the elimination of that one extra day of work is a plausible solution to low productivity levels and wasted time in the workplace. Now that we all know that there's a solution to this issue, why wouldn't you want to advocate for that kind of change? Well, what you need to keep in mind is that many other countries in the world are looking to put this kind of system into action, and many have already made moves to do so. Some places, even within the United States, such as California, have also been pushing to implement this kind of idea. So I think what needs to happen for this change to pick up pace and actually become a realistic thing is that people need to be more vocal about this kind of idea and share how these processes could be beneficial with others. People should advocate for it and push for more American companies to at least give it a try. So we can now see how working 4 quality days instead of 5 drawn out days can be beneficial to both the employee and the employer. So what can you do to implement this idea? Well, what you need to also keep in mind is that people aren't going to give their best to their job when they're overwhelmed with their own personal lives and have too many distractions during the day. So cutting a single day out of work during the week would allow ample time for employees to gather themselves and give 100% of their time and energy to their company when they're focused on the task at hand. You can vote to pass the legislation for a 4-day work week, and you can track your own productivity and present these kinds of ideas to your bosses. By doing this, you're attempting to preserve your own personal life and benefit both yourself and the company that you work for. Consolidation of work-focused time is essential, and now you know that you can be saving precious time by working smarter and not harder.